welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica Long, and speaking of voice, I am actually here with the president of Voice, and that is Voices of Innocent Citizens Empowered, and that is Catalene Theriot. She is also the director of Victims Services of the 16th JDC. So happy to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
And if you're like me, you're probably like, I've seen this lady's face before. I definitely have. We were kind of walking down memory lane just a moment ago. I remember seeing you possibly for the very first time. You were associated with the St. Mary Parish Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
And you were a board member. You've been a part of their scholarship banquet, which is actually kind of a big draw for our area. Right. But we kind of look like we may have lost you to Iberia. You're in Iberia. However, your reach is pretty much statewide.
Well, no, I do a lot here in St. Mary
oh,
also.
Great.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
Happy to have you
I
back.
just work in Iberia, but I still live in St. Mary's, my home.
Awesome. Yes, it is. It is very much your home, Franklin, to be exact. And so the memory lane walk here, so it's like, okay, I talked to you, I was like, okay, St. Mary Chamber, now I get it. And then, of course, I see you again at the town hall meetings that went on. There were about a series of 6 of them in Patterson, pretty much brought to the public by way of pretty much Mayor Grogan and his staff.
Oh, he did an excellent job.
Yes, and you were actually on the panel for at least 2 of those. And when I saw you, I was like, okay, maybe she's here to talk about voice, which you did a little bit, but you actually have a personal story. Would you mind kind of sharing that with us?
No, not at all. In 1994, my only child, his name was Carl Dean Theriot Jr., but we call him Dean, was murdered. And that was April 1994. And we didn't find out who murdered him until April of 1995. Mm-hmm. And all the time we were looking, searching to see who had murdered him. And come to find out, it was one of his best friends that was also helping us to search to find who had murdered him. He was at my home the same day we found his body. He came to the funeral home. He did everything. And there all the time I was worried about, always looking over my shoulder, wondering who did it. And all the time, if I looked over my shoulder really good, it was him.
Yes.
And we just didn't know at the time. So it took 15 months to come to light that he was the one that had murdered my son.
I have so many questions, but we won't go down that road. But one question does come to mind. Did you ever find out a motive?
Yes.
Would you be okay to sharing that?
It's ongoing because we do have appeals going.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for just sharing that portion of the story. Again, I'm sure folks at home are like, what? Why? And, so there's a lot of questions, I'm sure, even for you. I mean, definitely lots of questions. But what I really wanted to talk about was your role in Voice and how pretty much I'm sure your personal story has definitely helped to fuel you to help other people and bring some solace and comfort to others.
Correct. And I never thought I would be working with victims of crime. I mean, I never even thought of the justice system, to be honest with you, until that happened. Mm-hmm. Then it kind of opened my eyes to see what was really going on. And that's when I said, oh no, I cannot let another family go through it alone, like, we did. So what I started doing was I would watch television, and if I saw a homicide, I called the family, whether didn't know who they were, whatever. I didn't care where they were, New Iberia, Morgan City, whatever. And I met so many, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, I met so many people like that. Yes. And we came to the conclusion where we needed a support group. Yes. So that's when we started with Voice.
Yes, and I'm sure that every day you're probably learning something new or some way to improve or to really, your outreach services. Of course, I heard about Voice maybe a few years ago, but really didn't know exactly what it was that you do with Voice. And of course, much of it is a support system, and it's not just a kind of a round table. You actually go to court cases with victims' families.
Correct, we do. We are a support system. We do go to court, but we are very active in the legislature. That is one thing I wanted to get out there because we watch all the bills that have to do with victims. We're very proud. We helped pass 2 great bills. One of them was a change of the law for vehicular homicide, where it used to be 20 years, now it's 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So we were very active in that. Then we passed another one that I'm very proud of. It's about victim impact statements at the time of sentencing, where at one time you were very limited to what you could say, but we did pass a bill where you could pretty much just open up, say whatever you want. And the first time our bill was used was in the Geraldine DeSoto case with Derek Tidley.
Come on.
Yeah,
wow.
So, yes.
And this is, of course, something that affects statewide. This is statewide legislature.
Right, it is. It is statewide, yes. And every session, we watching the bills to make sure, see, you know, if there's something that we really have to, if it's good or it's bad.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing this. Again, I think this is very important for, and it's unfortunate, gun violence is at an all-time high, it feels like, in all around, not just statewide, all over the nation. So we're going to take a short break, but we'll come right back. Come on back right here on The Voice of the Coast. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, I am your host, Danica Long. I am here with this phenomenal individual, Catalene Theriot, who is the director of Voice, and that is Voices of Innocent Citizens Empowered, as well as the director for victim services with the 16 JDC. So again, thank you so much for being here and sharing even just a bit of your personal story, but also being a comfort for individuals who are the families. It's unfortunate the victims, they're gone, many of them are gone, but the families still have to struggle with that.
Most
and when
definitely.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, but I was just going to say most definitely, and sometimes it's years because we have members in our group that's been fighting the system for 30 years. I mean, appeals just sometimes go on, and each time you have to go to court, you re-victimize them all over again, unfortunately.
That's it. Yeah. And that's where I was going with it. You're so right. But having a support system, there's someone there to hold your hand. And also, you kind of share and you bond through your own stories.
Oh, most definitely, yes. Because I mean, I have so many friends, new friends, relationships that I never would have dreamed.
Yes.
And it's sad that that's how we had to meet.
Yeah.
And Voice, we celebrated our 20th anniversary June of this year. So we've been doing this for 20 years.
Yes, and where are you located? How would I get involved, or how could I, contact someone and say, I need some help?
Okay, we don't have a web address, but we do have a Facebook. It's called Voice Support Group Nonprofit, and I give my phone number to everyone. It's 337-577-5088, and they can call me 24/7. That's one thing. My phone's always on. If a victim needs support at 1 o'clock in the morning, I've done that. They can call me.
And tell me a little bit about the support. If someone calls you at that time in the morning, what type of support or aid would you be able to provide
What
them?
they really want is someone to listen to them. They just need someone to listen. That's it. Yeah. And that's what I do, And sometimes you just need to cry, or whatever reaction you have. You have to just let it out, because even though I went through the grief and all, but I cannot tell anyone else how to go through their grief or how long, because you have to do it your own way in your own time. You can't push it.
And when it's obviously for victims, what type of crimes, typically?
Voice, we're open to any type of crime. I mean, any victim that needs help, we're there for them. Yes. Okay. But it's mostly all homicides, unfortunately.
Yeah, right. So let me ask you, what are some events or activities you do in the community?
Okay. Well, at the beginning, during April, we have National Crime Victims' Rights Week. We do a large rally. We have a guest speaker that comes, and then we pick a voice member. Usually, we get together and we pick a member. This past year, we had Nakia Booty. Her son, Braylon Fulcart, was murdered. She spoke at our event. And we have different agencies that come, with the information about their what they offer, and then we serve them food, and we have beautiful music, and then at the end we have a beautiful butterfly release. And then I make sure that each family member gets a butterfly, so that way they can release their butterfly in their loved one's memory. Right. So that's really good. And then in June we always have like an anniversary gathering, but like this year, since it was our 20th, was very different, being 20 years. And then at Christmas time, we started this called Traveling Christmas Tree. And instead of an ornament, we put the loved one's pictures on it, and we place it at a police station each time. And we do that because at a police station, we feel it's safe. It doesn't,
right.
no one fools with it, and it's open 24 hours. And sometimes the victims' families want to just go place an ornament on privately, so they can do that, or they can go visit it. So this past year, we had it at the Louisiana State Police headquarters. But any police department that's out there that's interested in having it, contact me.
Awesome. And give your number one more time.
It's 337-577-5088.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for coming to give us this information. Of course, make sure to contact them as well as on Facebook and through her number that she just gave us. But I just want to tell you thank you very much for being so brave and also being so supportive to those who just need a shoulder to cry on.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And as always, make sure to subscribe to us on Facebook. We are KWBJ TV 22. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Clarence Robinson, who wears many hats. But for the sake of today, he is a fraternity member of Alpha Phi Alpha, and they are sponsoring the free prostate screenings at Skinner's Barbershop. Many of you are quite familiar. We do this pretty much every year around September, early September, and in conjunction with Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center, as well as Skinner's Barbershop and Louisiana Department of Health and Hospitals.
Correct.
They're actually getting involved with it this year,
Right.
because it's gone beyond just the free prostate screenings.
Right.
But let's talk about that first, because that is so important in our community.
Yes, without a doubt, Danica. You know, for the last 6 years now, we've been having this particular endeavor, and it's growing continuously. COVID kind of threw it back off 2 years ago, but now we're trying to put the thrust back forward. As you know, September is Prostate Awareness Month, and a lot of people overlook that, but this is an excellent opportunity for men to take part. Don't have to go to the doctor. The doctors will be on site, and basically get a free test, take you about 10, 15 minutes, and then you're going about your Saturday, because basically it's football season.
Yes.
So we want to get the guys out before that 11 o'clock situation, 12 o'clock, and then everything go down here after that. So
that's right. And what I like about this too, and let's just be honest, there has to be some time initiative, right?
Right.
And something to kind of get them out there, something that will attract them beyond their health. Their health is number one.
Right.
But I love the fact that you guys have put out there that the church, if there's a church involved, the most men from that church who are screened will receive $350, the ministry that is.
Without a doubt, and you know what we want to be unique about it. We will start with the churches first, but other civic organizations will come forth. But yes, we try to collaborate with the men, because sometimes in the church, Danica, a lot of people are not being aware. You know, we got our spiritual aspects of it, but still you got to do your part. So we're trying to make sure that we start with the churches first. The church that have the most people signed up and tested,
that's right.
they will qualify for the $350. But we do have a track record. Those individuals that will come, clarify their church name, sign up with their church, and at the end of the day, we'll make that presentation of $350 cash.
Yes, love it. Now, one thing I definitely want folks to see is the number that's up there, because you're not turning away any walk-ins,
Right.
but you would really prefer people just set up an appointment.
Yes.
And that way they'll be prepared, because preparation is key. You want to get you in and get you out.
Yes, exactly. And what happened was, due to COVID, Mary Bird changed their protocol, and they wanted to make sure that they have accurate numbers, and also to have the social distancing as per their protocol. So I think it's perfect, because I think last year we did do it, and it made the actual process flow even better. And I think the paperwork was mainly in order, where they just have to come in and sign their documents, and it was out the way. So I think it's a really good endeavor.
Now, if you are not familiar with this, remember this is at Skinner's Barbershop. It's been held there for 6 years. Like I said, it seems like it's been so much longer, but because of COVID, I understand in everything, COVID brain, because I can't remember some things that happened 1 to 2 years ago. But Skinner's Barbershop, which is on Railroad Avenue in Morgan City, it'll take you tops 10 to 15 minutes, not long at all. But in addition, there's so many other free screenings.
Yes.
You can't get this,
No,
on a regular day. I mean, you can go home and you don't even have to, if you don't want to take the COVID shot, you can get a take-home test. You could check your blood pressure. Also, there's a colorectal testing kit. Like, you guys are
at the value of really was put together on that, Danica, and I'm really speaking to Ms. Hope about that, just to see the actual value package that they have for this particular health endeavor. You get the prostate screening, the colorectal kit, which you can take home and mail in. You have the free COVID shots. You got the free COVID test. So that's a good little health package, especially in this season that we're in, to take advantage of, just some health endeavors. Blood pressure, which sometimes we don't actually do. So we'll be fine.
Yeah, well, you have definitely a wellness package.
Right.
All on a Saturday, right before a game.
Yes.
So there should be no excuses. But come on back. We'll talk a little bit more about the Man Up initiative that's taking place September 10th in Morgan City. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Clarence Robinson, who is the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity member, who is part of the initiative, the Man Up prostate screening. But there's more than just prostate screenings that's going on. I mean, you guys are giving away a whole wellness package on September 10th. If you want to, come out there, be a part of it. And it's free. Let me tell you something. Folks love free, and it is free. Everything about it is free. But they are anticipating a lot of men. Yeah. I'm always pulling for you guys because that magic number is 100. Right. And look, if you get the minute your church involved, you guys can push that number over, and you can win $350 for your church. So, I mean, all that is awesome. Yes. But please set up an appointment. I know, let's talk about that one more time. Why is it necessary that they set up an appointment? Now, you are not discouraging walk-ins or walk-ups, right, but you're asking that people call.
Yes, and basically it's for the data for Mary Bird and also the protocol, meaning that the COVID numbers have increased a little bit, so they want to be aware of that as well. Also, the doctors can be at risk as well. Mm-hmm. The bus that they will be tested on, this is pretty much a nice-sized bus, but basically it got people away from each other, and it can make the process much easier than ever. So.
And also because for privacy purposes, the results will be mailed, right?
Yes, the results will be mailed to you within maybe 2 to 3 weeks. And great thing about this, Danica, the people that were tested the last couple of years are in the database, so they should have received their actual appointment notification on last week. Check your mailbox. If not, it will be coming this week. But also, you can use the number that you just spoke of to actually take that opportunity to sign up.
And let's not move forward without talking about the testimonies that have come from this.
Yes.
I remember going, and I think I followed up with you. Right. You said that there was at least 1 or 2 men that had they not gone, they would not have been able to, they detected it early. Right. And they were able to take care of it before it spread. Oh, it did something for me.
It did, and one of the wives called and told us that particular testimony, and she was very appreciative that it was done because he hadn't done it before. So that's all if we could get more than ever one person that think that kind of susceptible about some things, because they have some items that can tell you that you're having problems with your prostate. Mm-hmm. But overall, September is awareness. We just want people more than ever to get tested. Especially in this age we are now, got a lot of things, underlying conditions that need to be addressed.
I'm so happy you mentioned that as well, because it's in the family. Sometimes we don't know. We're like, did Papa have this? Did, great grandfather have this? You don't know, and it's only going to help if you just go. Yes. It doesn't take anything away from you.
One thing I want to say about African Americans, Danica, they say at 40 we should be tested, but basically they're saying now at 35 for African American men to get tested because of the generational trait and because of our health and diets that cause a lot of those issues as well. So.
And it's very harder to track in African American men because, like you said, you don't know if Grandpa had it. You don't know. Those things aren't always talked about. Let's just be real. So Man Up is what it's called, Man Up prostate screening. And in addition to that, there's other screenings. Let's kind of go through all those screenings one more time.
Yes, we will have the prostrate and colorectal that you can take the take-home test kit. The actual COVID test, you can take that home as well. Also, COVID boosters and also the regular COVID shot will be available at that particular endeavor as well. So, you know, you say you didn't have time during the week, you can take care of it on Saturday, September 10th.
And I got to give a shout out to this gentleman. I mean, it's free advertising for him. Skinner's Barbershop.
Yes.
Get a haircut. I mean, it's just make a good little day of it, you know, take care of everything, step out fresh and clean, right?
Yes, and you know, one thing about it is Skinner is so excited about it. Matter of fact, he's not in town this week to be able to come out, but he volunteered his place because it makes a rapport for everybody. So come to Skinner's Barbershop, 1001 Railroad Avenue, Morgan City, Louisiana.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
And that is all the time we have. Make sure to subscribe to us on Facebook. We are KWBJ TV 22, as well as on YouTube, KWBJ Live. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.